So for aspiring BAs and junior BAs, we provide opportunities for them to engage with senior professionals, like people already working in this space, and to gain industry, like very practical insights of the project, the things they're doing, or the techniques they're applying in their daily jobs from our sessions. Our goal is to enhance the communication across the whole BA ecosystem and help more people to transition into the BA industry.
We did a little intro to business analysis presentation at an organization called Summer Tech, and this is like one of the largest internship providers to help young New Zealanders get into the tech industry, to kind of continue to keep building the ecosystem that we're trying to build and keep bringing lots of positive energy to help inspire people get into the business analysis field.
Welcome to the Inside Business Analysis podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Jacobs, and today I am joined with Sophie, Chen, and Greg Thomas and GE. How are you doing?
Doing good, thank you.
I'm glad to have you both on. It's really exciting to speak to two guests again on this podcast, and I'm excited for our conversation today, which is around a business analysis group that you both run, called the BA Career Meetup group. If you could just maybe give us a brief introduction into what that group is and what inspired you to start it. I'll start with you, Sophie, on that one.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Daniel, for the opportunity. I started the meetup from a very random idea, which was to interview people just like you and who transitioned into a business analysis roles and upload the video recording to my social media to attract more followers. So when I was organizing the interview, I thought, why not to turn this into a proper event so that people can interact with the guests, the speakers, like in a live manner. So I just think maybe using a meetup would be a nice medium to attract people and get the registration numbers. Then I just quickly put up the idea together and recruited about 15 volunteers to help me organize the event, including my close friend and later co-worker Greg as my one of the key organizers. So basically the meetup is to help aspiring BAs and new BAs to gain industry insights and help them to clarify how to enter the business analysis industry. So that's the purpose. Maybe Greg, you can introduce how did you get involved?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that, Sophie. So Sophie and I go back quite a bit in our, BA career transition journey, because we actually studied together at university, doing our Masters of Business Analysis together. And although she was actually about 2 trimesters ahead of me at the time in a different cohort, we often connected up and just talked about, understanding how to best transition our skills to get into the BA space. And, lo and behold, as you stay connected through your relationships at university, her and a few of the alumni actually helped get me my current job, my current role, and was really thankful for that there. So to return the favor, she actually asked me to talk about my experiences on her social media platform, which I did. And from that experience, I was able to realize actually how impactful it was in sharing my story, because we got a lot of positive feedback and comments about, so that's someone who wants to get into, say, the world of data, for example, in the field of business analysis. This is how you can do it. So through that there, I was quite, interested in wanting to share my story more and also inspire others to get into industry, which is why Sophie sort of asked me when she was initially wanting to do our first meetup event with Linda Fields, I believe maybe a year and a bit ago. And I said, look, I'll help out any way I can. And here we are.
Amazing. I love that. So you started, Sophie, you brought on Greg, and then Greg, you're like, I love this, I want to be part of it, and then here you are now both running it.
Exactly.
So your mission is quite clear to me, which is that you're effectively helping aspiring BAs or early career BAs in their journeys. And obviously for the aspiring BAs, it's getting that BA role or getting into business analysis. When I speak to most or aspiring business analysts, should I say, one thing that they always struggle with, that they say is, how do I get a BA job without experience? I'm struggling. I'm applying for jobs and, I'm just not getting anywhere with it because the first thing I'm being told is I don't have experience. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and it's the common issues for most of the aspiring BAs. But firstly, I would love to clarify that actually most people don't think they have the experience, but actually they have from their previous working experience. They may have a lot of transferable skills or experience that can directly apply to a business analysis career. right? So I would love to recommend 4 steps to strengthen their profiles to get a job in the BA area. So firstly, I would recommend people to learn about BA fundamentals, learn about the basic concept, tools, and techniques of business analysis, especially the languages that people talking about the BAs. So you can do this through a lot of things. For example, you can read official textbooks from the IIBA, which stands for the International Institution of Business Analysis, or you can take some really good like LinkedIn courses from Angela, or read the book How to Start Your Business Analysis Career, which inspired my own BA career like 3 years ago, written by Laura Brandberg. And then I think you do need to create your real world BA experience through some side projects or volunteering opportunities. So when I was studying at the university for the BA master degree, I posted on LinkedIn to look for opportunities to hone my skills. And one of my previous clients contacted me. So I got the chance to work alongside on his startup company to mature their business models and project processes. So you could be really creative in creating some opportunities for yourself to gain some project experience. And thirdly, if you want to become a BA, I think you really need to be surrounded by BA professionals. So how to build that network is really crucial. And you can also do a few things. For example, you can attend online or offline events and connect to the BA professionals, or you can invite people like a coffee chat, have some informational interviews with them. And you can also connect with the BA recruiters to get the most recent insights of the BA industry, to know what the market is looking for, what type of skills. It's really important to understand what the market needs and identify the gaps you need to bridge, right? And finally, you need to start working somewhere and eventually move into a BA role. Because right now the market is really low and there are so many layoffs in the big corporate. So it's not easy to get a BA job directly. Companies will prioritize internal promotions as well, which makes it extremely difficult for external applicants. So getting your foot into the door is half of the success. So positions like help desk, or project coordinator, or even call center could be a great starting point. So maybe Greg, you want to add something more?
Sure, probably just adding to the initial point that you touched on, Sophie, around being able to identify your skills and strengths that naturally align with different BA skills. Because I feel like with all of us, we've all had different career experiences previously or different experiences in life that can just naturally align to help build on your BA skill set, firstly, and then transition into a BA position. So it's really important to be able to notice how you can identify, then secondly, quantify and measure how relevant these experiences can be. Because, for example, if you had a role in, say, customer-facing positions like a sales role and something like that there, and that was like a big-ticket sales job, that's actually quite a complex sales process that you need to manage and also quite unique stakeholder engagement skills that you have because you're dealing with not necessarily high volumes amount of items, but high costs and, high value relationships. So that can be a really good way to demonstrate these skills into showing stakeholder management skills of being able to work under pressure or work under tight demands from stakeholders. And then on the other hand, if you were, say, someone coming in from a much more technical background, because a lot of people do transition from, say, developer roles or IT system support roles, and being able to use some of those more technical skill sets, you can then learn to put some, other BA skills together there and transition into a more technical BA position. So it's always good to kind of reflect and think of all the things you've done throughout your whole life and career, because, some of the things that I was thinking that I was doing back in, say, my initial undergrad degree, that was actually quite practical skills to use as a BA. So when you start thinking back, that's something I actually really enjoy and something I really do, which was project management, because I like to organize events and I put together, dare I say it, parties at universities and stuff and put a theme around it and invite people around for that there. And then I would think, well, if I can do that at this level here, then how do I gain some skills to build on top of that there? And then how can I demonstrate that would make me a good BA for the future?
Love that. Love that. I love the 4 clear steps. The one word that jumped out to me was the word create. You said create your own BA experience. And I think that's actually powerful because a lot of people, I guess, wait to be given a BA opportunity or wait to be told, okay, here's a project, we need a BA or we want you to come on to do some business analysis or whatever. But we do have to be proactive, especially if you're an aspiring BA. You kind of have to proactively look for experience or even create your own experience, because business analysis is it's a skill set. It's not a job title, and that's something I say all the time. And you can apply that skill set regardless of the job title you have currently, as long as you're doing business analysis activities somehow in a way, shape, or form. So I think that's really powerful there. And on this topic, because you both came from different backgrounds, it's not like you became a BA from like your first ever jobs. If I remember correctly, both of you have a sales background, and Greg, you kind of did a little bit of recruitment as well. So, you both kind of did quite a pivotal switch into business analysis. If you could think back to that switch that you did, what would you say, were some of the key transferable skills that you could highlight, so that people can get a deeper picture into what transferable skills look like and how they kind of apply from one field into the business analysis space?
I think for me, it was definitely around, if I looked at it and reflected it from my prior recruiting background, it was one, being able to, suppose, simply put it, understand people, because I was in the field of recruitment. So it gave me really good stakeholder engagement skills, because I was constantly on the phone talking to people, understanding what they wanted, what they needed, and what they were looking for. Hence, it's requirement gathering, essentially. And then also doing a lot of negotiation around, stating what's possible, be it either on the client side and saying, if you're looking for this kind of person, this kind of profile, this is what's out there in the market right now. And also doing the exact same with candidates too, because, a lot of the times they're often looking for a dream ideal solution, which is basically, a future career pathway, but that might necessarily already be the case. So that was something that was really good that I picked up from there. The second thing I think that also came up from there was also just being able to work to deadlines, because I did a lot of work in, say, for example, what we would call a retainer search, which was basically working to a specific deadline and having milestones in place to be able to deliver an outcome. And again, even though that was in the field of recruitment, when you actually take a lot of those principles and all of that structure and you apply it into any BA-related or IT-based project, well, I mean, essentially the fundamentals are the same. You're just dealing with a bit more, different context and different details and so on. So that, I think, for me, really set me up quite well in a lot of the work that I do, anyway, at the moment in my BA career so far.
Yeah, I resonate a lot with what Greg has said, because as you mentioned, I also came from like a sales background with some marketing as well experiences. So I guess just to be brief, I want to touch on like three things that I can directly transfer my skills into the BA career. The first is about the relationship building, because as a BA, you actually need to be the bridge between the business and the engineering team. So you need to talk in their languages and think in their shoes. I guess that's the one thing I've learned from my sales background, is to trying to understand the other person's perspectives and build the rapport and build the relationships with them by solving their problems and understanding their pain points. Not just trying to sell them your product. And that leads to my second point, which is to be a great storyteller and try to sell ideas so that people can easily buy in. Because you have so many stakeholders, you need everyone to stand on the same page and make some good decisions. So, but you can't make decisions yourself as a BA, right? You have to convince the other person, the other parties, the other groups. So how do you frame your kind of story, your the benefits of the work that you're doing, and how can you paint the pictures of the future, how they can reach the same goals, is quite crucial. So I learned that from my 8+ years of sales background and sales experience, like to how to craft the narratives, how to craft the stories, which is really crucial as a BA. I guess the third thing about my background is about the story, like strong delivery mindset. Because as a sales, you always have a hit, like target to hit. You have to make the sale. You have to close the deal. You have to kind of own your quota, right? So as a BA, you also need to have this strong delivery mindset. You need to deliver results for the team. You need to deliver adding value to the project. So I constantly seek those opportunities to add the value and close the loop and deliver the project in the end. So I guess these three things really helped me a lot to be a successful BA in my current role. Yeah.
Yeah, no, those are strong points, and I resonate with all of them. So really powerful things, and I hope that people listening to this, particularly aspiring BAs, would definitely get some insights and maybe even some inspiration of how they can create that BA experience, but also be more cognizant of what transferable skills they really have, because they may not make that direct link. And I think part of the reason is maybe because the languaging is different. You know, you kind of mentioned there about understanding customers' needs, which is a very sales language, whereas in the BA space, we probably say something like understanding the business problems, but it's kind of similar. Um, and we may not have said things like managing stakeholder engagement as salespeople, kind of say, managing my clients, but it's the similar concept, right? So I think it's making that link sometimes more of a translation of language more than anything, so that they can say, oh yeah, that did do that. Just we didn't call it that when I did it in sales, which is really powerful. And so, kind of thinking about then, there's aspiring BAs that you are kind of helping in your meetups, and you mentioned previously around how you're having interviews with other people. Um, what would an aspiring BA kind of gain from joining your meetup group, and what kind of things do you offer them?
Cool, I can take this question. Even though the majority of our meetup members are aspiring BAs or new BAs, and they pick up about 60% of the whole meetup members, we do have other like different types of members in our meetup for different purposes. So we basically provide a space for all our members to connect, communicate, and learn from each other. And people will gain different values from like based on their experience level. So for aspiring BAs and junior BAs, we provide opportunities for them to engage with senior professionals, like people already working in this space, and to gain industry, like very practical insights of the project, the things they're doing, or the techniques they're applying in their daily jobs from our sessions. And for more experienced BAs, they can also share their learnings at our platforms. For example, they can enhance their public speaking skills and give back to the community. For example, there was one speaker called Jadu, who is a senior BA. He shared his journey of getting a cybersecurity certification from IABA with us, and that was a great session. We all learned a lot from that. We also have quite a few BA leaders and managers join us. They can leverage the space to discuss some similar problems when leading a BA team. So opportunity they may not have within their organization. So for example, in our most recent Wellington in-person event, there is a panel talk, and our speakers shared their thoughts on how to cultivate BA talents and foster BA capability excellence for New Zealand organizations. So a lot of the BI managers gave us a feedback that really enjoyed the session because they felt not lonely anymore, and they kind of validated their approach of building the BA teams within the organization, which was really great feedback. So for other types of members in our group, such as recruiters, educator providers, and other collaborators, we just create opportunities to collaborate on some exciting events or projects together. In summary, we are trying to cater needs from the different audience groups, but our primary focus is still aspiring BAs and junior BAs. Our goal is to enhance the communication across the whole BA ecosystem and help more people to transition into the BA industry. Yeah, so we kind of reunite everyone in the same space.
Yeah, which is powerful. I mean, I think I don't know what the latest figures are, but last time I checked, you had over 1,000 members.
Close to 1,150 now, getting up there.
Okay, yeah, lovely. That's if you think about the 60% mark, you're looking at over 600 people, and that's a big number. That's a big number of people there. Which leads me to the next question of, this is obviously not something that the two of you are doing, just the two of you, managing 1,150 plus members by yourselves. You've got a team behind you, don't you? Of volunteers helping you to deliver this. Can you touch on, first of all, what kind of things the volunteers are doing, and how do you build that volunteer team behind this?
Yeah, of course. I can share a bit more insights into this. As you said, we can't do this just by two of us. We need a team kind of to provide the brain power and the manpower to organize all the events and doing the work. Right now, we have about 5 work streams that we have identified for the different types of work. So including the organizing events, meetup operations, member engagement and marketing, data management, and other initiatives. So firstly, we create a very vigorous process to recruit our volunteers because we believe that volunteers will be more engaged and committed if they have a strong inner drive, right? We provide processes, structure, and support for their process. That's our primary goal. So having the right process in place, it is to ensure that they have the strong motivations, aligned values with us, and the right expectations to be our volunteers. And then we also made efforts to understand why they want to become a volunteer with us so that we can better cater their needs and meet their expectations. And once they pass the volunteer interviews, they will start about a 4-week self-training on the Google Classroom where we set everything up for them to learn about the Meetup history, processes, tools, and also set their personal goals and get familiar with the communication channel, which is Slack. So they can only become our official volunteers after completing the training. So which also shows their level of commitment to become working for our group. However, the most effective way to engage them is again through doing real work and delivering tangible results. Currently, we have monthly online events and also just started organizing some in-person events regularly. We already finished 2 virtual workshops online with all our volunteers. And we brainstormed a list of tasks in 5 of those work streams I mentioned earlier. We ask the volunteers to pick up what they want to do, what interests them the most. And they can put the name against the tickets we created in the ClickUp tool to track all the progresses. And then we want to involve them in the decision-making process rather than just assign them a bunch of random tasks so they don't know what, they get lost in the work, but don't understand the whys behind it. So we have all those things in place to help them get up to speed really quickly, but we have the right support for them as well if they have anything that they don't understand or need some extra help. And in that way, we hopefully will keep our volunteers engaged and they can actually learn something useful in their career in the future. Anything add on, Greg?
Yeah, I guess to speak to some of Sophie's points you just raised there, especially around getting volunteers to engage with what they're interested in doing and building on the skill sets they want to develop. We do take quite a cross-collaborative approach, I suppose, and try to develop win-win situations. So where I'm leading with this is that we actually also try to inspire our volunteers to sort of lead their own events and their own engagements too, that they're interested in. So if, say, someone was interested in getting a speaker in, say, the field of data analysis, we're very happy for them to go out and use our platform as a way to network and develop connections on their own and then bring people onto the platform, for example, which is how we actually got most of our speakers very much so in the past, just by using our own networks and using our platform and what we're trying to achieve as a way to attract people to connect with us. And then more so, now that we do have a much larger group of volunteers, we're also getting them to actually run their own events for their own communities as well. For example, we've been working with one group of BA career Meetup volunteers who are all studying currently in the same postgraduate course, and they're really keen to sort of set up a workshop to talk more about how do they transition their careers into the business analysis field in the long term. So we've kind of given them the power and the freedom to basically leverage our brand and network to work with their senior stakeholders in their education institutions, and then also use our speaker network or use resources that we've already created to be able to deliver their own courses, which basically gives them their full 360 experience and allows them to then inspire their classmates and their friends and so on, and then they might be interested in doing this in the future as well.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think, it is you have such a strong, I guess, process in place to kind of maybe attract people, but then take them through a process of vetting them and whether they genuinely are able to give the time and the energy and the effort required. And then off the back of that, you're then empowering them to kind of be involved in shaping what the BA Career Meetup group looks like and what's involved within it. And I think that's really powerful there. And yeah, kudos to you for setting up such a robust process, should I say, in terms of having a strong team behind you, because you're only as strong as a team, I guess, and it's testament to your group going so far, over 1,000 members, and having all of these events happening every month. It's kind of speaks to the strength of the team that's behind you, kind of bringing the vision to life. Speaking about bringing the vision to life, what kind of plans do you have for 2024, the rest of the year, in terms of this Be a Career Meetup group, and what kind of things do you have in mind to bring in place?
Oh, yeah, we are just past our finish our first quarter, and we're really glad that we have completed our first quarter focus, which is to expand our volunteer team. Now we have about 24 volunteers in place, and they are like geared up for more events and more kind of work. So which is really great. And for the rest of the 3 quarters, we plan to organize more offline events, along with our regular monthly online events. And the idea is to deepen engagement amongst our Meetup members, because people are asking for more time to socialize, to network, and talk to each other in person. And we also want to collaborate with more local communities. So there are a lot of professional groups in local Wellington or Auckland or even Christchurch across New Zealand region. We would love to work with those local communities to deliver more excellent events. Maybe later in the year, towards the fourth quarter, we were thinking about how we can help people to gain more real-world BA experience, which we have discussed earlier. Because we identify this as a huge gap in the current market to help people land their first BA roles. But we definitely need more time to think about it and to build up the plan. So that's our high-level kind of goals for the year. Greg, anything to add on?
No, I think you very much covered it there, Sophie.
Cool.
Strong plans. I love it. I love it. Strong plans there. And, good luck to you both in bringing that to life in the team and, kind of inspiring more and more people in the BA space. So, Sophie and Greg, this conversation has been really impactful and insightful, even particularly for those who are aspiring BAs, kind of giving them the practical guidance into how do you get into this space, but also, you're not just giving them the information, but you're also providing them with this meetup group that they can join and be part of to kind of walk them through and have a community around them and also build their network, right, as part of being part of this group. For those of you who are not in New Zealand, you can obviously join the online events, which are location independent, but then obviously the in-person events are at this moment in time only in New Zealand, right? So, which is fine. So how can people who are interested to join this group as an aspiring BA wanted to join the group, or on the flip side of that, how can kind of lead BAs or people who want to pour into the group, what's the process around how they can join and how they can be part of this?
You want to take this?
Sophie, I'll let you speak the official details and the official line.
Yeah, I guess the easiest way is to just jump on our Meetup page and become one of our members. And then you can reach out to me or either Greg, or just leave a comment on the Meetup page. Just let us know what you're interested to discuss. And then we will more than happy to have a conversation to discuss more things in the depth and to understand how we can help each other kind of to meet each other's goals and needs. Yeah. So it's pretty direct and basic. Just reach out.
Yeah, and the Meetup page, that's one on meetup.com website, right? And then /BA. I'll put the link in the show notes to go to the specific.
Yeah, we also have a LinkedIn page. It's also called BA Career. I always mention it in my LinkedIn post, so I'm happy to just provide the link as well to you.
Yeah, definitely. We'll put that in the show notes as well, so that people can reach out. Obviously, and also they can reach out to you directly on LinkedIn as well. So I'll put your LinkedIn profile links on the show notes as well. So, final question for me for both of you is, starting with yourself, Greg, is what has been a highlight for you for kind of being part of the Be a Career Meetup group?
Well, I mean, probably one of the biggest highlights for me, aside from working with great people like Sophie and a lot of people I've met on my BA journey, it's also being able to work and collaborate with a lot of organizations that have helped me out along the way too. and then being able to give back to them in a small way. So like a real small example is that we did a little intro to business analysis presentation at an organization called Summer Tech in New Zealand. And this is like one of the largest basically internship providers to help young New Zealanders get into the tech industry. And I was a part of that program there no more than a year and a half ago. And now I'm actually giving back to them, in a really meaningful way. And in fact, we're going to have a catch-up conversation with them to work out how we can collaborate with them later on this year. So just kind of being able to come full circle with a lot of these relationships with these organizations that have helped me in the past has been really cool. Just to kind of continue to keep building the ecosystem that we're trying to build and keep bringing lots of positive energy to help inspire people get into the business analysis field.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. And Sophie, for yourself?
I would love to say it is really encouraging to see people actually turning to a BA, a real BA professional, after kind of joining us or engage with us. So there are a couple of like success stories just within our volunteer group. I think 3 of them out of like the first year we have 15 volunteers, 3 of them successfully landed BA jobs. I think that's a great testimony of like how successful or how useful the community engagement we created by this like meetup has really turned into reality, and that's really something make me feel fulfillment. And also, I think another thing, I'm always like keen to grow people, empower people, and it's awesome to see how much our volunteers has grown like into a more mature professional and gain a lot of new skills, that they always constantly give me feedback that I really enjoyed what I'm doing right now. I think sometimes it's more interesting than my real job, which is really interesting and encouraging as well. So I guess all those nice, great feedback from our like both audience and volunteers and people who attended our events, these are the things that like actually drive me forward and make me realize that the work that we are doing is actually very valuable and useful, and can turn into some tangible results. That's what we're looking for. That's pretty much my highlight of this meetup.
Yeah, and honestly, I definitely want to give you both your flowers and the great work that you're doing through the Beer Career Meetup group. I know firsthand how much work goes into something like this, and just how much effort is required to put on an event or put on something along those lines, right? And it's quite a lot of input and energy, and also the energy to lead a team of volunteers as well. Whilst you're both also volunteering in your own meetup group, it does take a lot of energy and a lot of input, but it shows that you've built something that's really impactful on the other side, which is that people are genuinely finding value in all the things that are happening, and people are becoming BAs and also being given opportunities to get involved in things that they may not have been afforded to them outside of their day jobs. So kudos to the both of you. And I'm excited to also say that I'm coming on to your next event as a guest myself, which we're going to be talking about how I transitioned into business analysis. So for your aspiring BAs, you kind of thinking about those transferable skills that we mentioned earlier on. It's that kind of discussion around how exactly would that look like in practice, because I myself also came from a different background and then made the transition into business analysis. I'll let you both maybe kind of do a brief promo into when that's going to be, how that's going to be, and how people can sign up to be part of that.
Yeah, sure.
Event.
So the meetup event has been posted on our platform, and I think currently there are almost 60 people registered, which is a great kind of attraction to a lot of our audience. And if you want to participate in this event, you can just jump on the link of our meetup. I'm sure then we'll share afterwards, and then you can just become one of our attendees in the night. The date and time will be on the 10th of April. I believe the time is 9 to 10 New Zealand time, which is, I think, 8 o'clock in the morning in the UK time. I'm right? But we can double check that. Yeah. So on the Meetup event page.
I think it's 9. I think our clocks.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So exact time can be found on the Meetup page, based on your time zone. So don't worry about it. Just simply join it by registration.
Yeah. And then if you can't make the Meetup event, we also do pre-recordings and that'll be uploaded to our YouTube channel for future viewing.
Oh, brilliant! Yes, so check them out on YouTube. Yes, so that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a fun conversation between the three of us or the panel. So I'm looking forward to that one myself. So Sophie and Greg, thank you so much for kind of spending time with me on this podcast today and having this conversation around your meetup group that you're running. Again, thank you for the work that you're doing and inspiring. A really good number of people who are aspiring BAs to learn more about business analysis and get into the field, but also providing the opportunity for those who are looking to mentor and coach others and give back to the community and a space to do the same. And it's really encouraging to see communities like this, because I think there's strength in numbers, and sometimes there's power in being part of a community, and being part of this community is certainly valuable for aspiring BAs. So thank you for setting up the community, but also thank you for sharing with us today on the podcast. I really have enjoyed our conversation.
It's great.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to your talk on the 10th of April. It'll be quite interesting, I believe.